Babies cry echoes from an empty Alabama farmhouse. A shadowy figure stalks a forgotten bridge. Welcome to Blink News. I'm John, and today, we're uncovering the 20 most creepy haunted places in Alabama. Secret spots even locals don't know. These hidden haunts will chill you to the bone. Hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more spooky stories. Comment below, where are you watching from? Drop your city's name. Got a creepy Alabama tale? I'm reading every comment. Let's dive into Alabama's darkest secrets starting now. Number 20. Moundville Archaeological Site. Deep in Hale County, Alabama, lies the Moundville Archaeological Site, a place where ancient history and restless spirits collide. Welcome to Blink News, and today we're exploring one of Alabama's creepiest hidden haunts. Ready for a chilling journey? Let's uncover the secrets of Moundville. From around 1000 to 1458, Moundville was the heart of a powerful Mississippian culture, once called the Big Apple of the 14th century by National Geographic. This 326-acre site along the Black Warrior River was home to over 1,000 people, with 29 massive earthen mounds built for ceremonies, burials, and the homes of elite chiefs. Protected by a wooden palisade, it was a thriving political and religious center. But by the 1500s, the town mysteriously fell silent, abandoned for reasons no one can fully explain. Some say it was failing harvests. Others whisper of darker forces at play. You'll find Moundville Archaeological Park 13 miles south of Tuscaloosa, just off Highway 69 in Hale County. From the town of Moundville, head north on Highway 69 for half a mile, then turn west onto Mound Parkway. Drive 0.4 miles to the park entrance at 634 Mound State Parkway. The site's surrounded by lush forests and the Black Warrior River, giving it an isolated, otherworldly vibe. Moundville's ancient past seems to linger in its shadows. Visitors report seeing strange lights glowing from the platform mounds at night, like spectral signals from long-gone spirits. Phantom drumbeats echo across the plaza after hours, and some feel an eerie energy, as if the Mississippian people who once thrived here never truly left. One visitor even claimed a figure in the museum's diorama moved its head, snapping toward them in an instant. Could these be the spirits of chiefs, warriors, or priests still guarding their sacred ground? The epicenter of Moundville's paranormal activity is Mound B, the tallest mound at 58 feet, once home to a temple and the site's most powerful chief. This massive earthen pyramid is where ghostly lights are most often seen, pulsing like beacons in the dark. Archaeologists found burials with severed heads and necklaces of human teeth here, adding to the chilling aura. If you're brave enough to visit at night, keep your eyes on Mound B. That's where the spirits seem to stir the most. Want to explore Moundville yourself? The park is open daily, with the Jones Archaeological Museum from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Admission is $8 for adults, $6 for kids, and free for Native Americans with tribal membership. You can climb Mound B and another mound via staircases, but stick to marked paths. Trespassing is prohibited, and the spirits might not take kindly to wanderers. Check out the museum for artifacts like the eerie rattlesnake disc, but be warned, some say the displays feel alive. Camping is available for $12 a night, perfect for daring ghost hunters. Always respect the site's sacred history and get permission for any paranormal investigations. Bring a flashlight, stay alert, and maybe don't linger near Mound B after dark. Number 19. Old McIntyre House. Built in the mid-1800s, the Old McIntyre House is one of the few structures in Decatur to survive the Civil War's devastation. When Union and Confederate forces battled through Morgan County, this sturdy home stood firm as the town around it burned. Owned by the McIntyre family, it served as a refuge during the war, possibly sheltering soldiers or civilians. Its walls hold stories of survival, tragedy, and maybe something darker, whispers of lives cut short that refuse to fade away. You'll find the Old McIntyre House in downtown Decatur, Morgan County. Though its exact address is tough to pin down today, some say it's near the old State Bank on Market Street. To get there, head to Decatur via Highway 31 or Interstate 65. Then explore the historic district around 2nd Avenue and Gordon Drive. Look for old, unmarked homes from the 1800s. But be warned, this place isn't on any tourist map, and its obscurity adds to its eerie charm. The Old McIntyre House is alive with paranormal activity. Visitors report hearing unexplained noises, creaking floorboards, ghostly whispers, and footsteps pacing empty rooms. Apparitions of shadowy figures have been seen gliding through the halls, sometimes vanishing into walls. Some believe these are the spirits of Civil War soldiers who took shelter here, or perhaps McIntyre family members tied to the home's tragic past. The air feels heavy, and locals swear you're never alone in this house, even when no one's around. The heart of the hauntings is the main hallway and staircase. This is where the heaviest energy lingers, with reports of cold spots and footsteps echoing from the stairs, as if someone or something is pacing endlessly. One chilling tale describes a shadowy figure, standing at the top of the staircase, staring down at visitors before vanishing. If you feel a sudden chill or hear a creak behind you, you're likely in the most haunted spot of the old McIntyre house. Visiting the old McIntyre house is tricky. It's not a public site, and its exact location is often kept quiet by locals. Start by exploring Decatur's historic district and asking around at places like the Old State Bank Museum for leads. If you find it, always get permission from property owners, as it's likely private property. Trespassing could land you in trouble with the living and the dead. Bring a flashlight and maybe an EMF meter for paranormal vibes, but don't expect a warm welcome from the spirits. Visit during dusk for maximum eeriness, and always respect the site's history. If you're lucky or unlucky, you might hear those ghostly footsteps yourself. Number 18. Haines Island Park. Haines Island Park, nestled along the Alabama River, is a quiet retreat today, but its history is steeped in Civil War tragedy. During the 1860s, a woman named Nancy lived with her husband and son on a small farm atop what's now called Nancy's Mountain. When her son joined the Confederate Army and never returned, Nancy's life unraveled. Word came that he'd been killed, his body lost, and her husband froze to death, searching for him beside an unknown soldier's grave in Tennessee. Nancy's heartbreak left a mark on this land, and some say her spirit still wanders, searching for her lost son. Haines Island Park is located near Franklin in Monroe County, about 40 miles southwest of Monroeville. From Franklin, take County Road 56 west to the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers Haines Island Park, near the Davis Ferry landing on the Alabama River. The park's main draw is Nancy's Mountain Trail, a serene path through dense woods, but its remote location keeps it off most paranormal radar, making it a true hidden gem for ghost hunters. Haines Island Park is haunted by the ghost of Nancy, a Civil War-era mother who walked the trails of Nancy's Mountain every night, carrying a lantern and a pail of water, hoping to find her lost son. Visitors report seeing a ghostly lantern floating along the trail, accompanied by eerie whispers and footsteps in the leaves. Some hikers feel an overwhelming sadness, or see shadowy figures darting through the trees. One chilling account tells of a dog refusing to walk the trail, whimpering as if sensing Nancy's grief-stricken spirit. The most haunted spot in Haines Island Park is Nancy's Mountain Trail, especially the path leading down to the Alabama River. This is where Nancy's ghost is most often seen, her lantern glowing in the fog as she searches for her son. Hikers report the strongest paranormal activity near the riverbank, where disembodied cries and a heavy, mournful energy linger. If you feel a sudden chill or see a light with no source, you're likely standing where Nancy's spirit roams. Ready to hike into the hauntings of Haines Island Park? The park is managed by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and is open daily for free, with parking at the Davis Ferry landing. Nancy's Mountain Trail is a short, easy hike, perfect for fall when the leaves add to the eerie vibe. Bring a flashlight for evening visits, and maybe a camera to catch those ghostly lights. The trail is public, but stay on marked paths and respect the area's history. This is sacred ground tied to a mother's grief. Visit at dawn or dusk for the best chance to spot Nancy's lantern, but go with a friend. Her sorrow might feel too heavy alone. Haines Island Park hides a heartbreaking tale that still haunts its trails. Have you ever seen a ghostly light or felt Nancy's presence here? Drop a comment below. Where are you watching from? Share your city, and if you've got a spooky story from this park, I want to hear it. Hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more creepy Alabama haunts on Blink News. Next up, another chilling secret awaits. Number 17. Black Oak Cemetery. Black Oak Cemetery, established around 1851, sits beside the Black Oak Methodist Episcopal Church in Grove Oak, DeKalb County. This small, rural graveyard holds over 360 burials, including handcrafted markers from the early 1800s, like that of John L. Brown, who died in 1818 before Alabama was even a state. Used by local families for generations, the cemetery's ancient trees and weathered stones tell tales of a community steeped in history. But something darker lingers here, tied to unexplained tragedies that locals whisper about but rarely share. Black Oak Cemetery is tucked away in Grove Oak, DeKalb County, about 15 miles southeast of Fort Payne. From Grove Oak, take County Road 50 east for half a mile, then turn southeast on County Road 76 for 3/4 of a mile, head south for another quarter mile, and you'll spot the cemetery beside the Black Oak Methodist Episcopal Church. Surrounded by dense woods and rolling hills, Its isolation makes it feel like a forgotten corner of Alabama. Black Oak Cemetery is notorious for its malevolent presence. Visitors report a black goat appearing out of nowhere, staring with glowing eyes before vanishing into the night. Cars parked near the cemetery have been known to shake violently, as if something is trying to get in. Most chilling are the child-sized handprints that appear on vehicle windows, smudged and cold, with no children in sight. Locals believe these are signs of a dark entity tied to the cemetery's oldest graves, perhaps guarding secrets from its pre-statehood days. The air feels heavy, and some say you're never truly alone here. The epicenter of the paranormal activity is the oldest section of Black Oak Cemetery, near the handcrafted gravestones from the early 1800s. This area, marked by crude markers with tree motifs and hearts, is where the black goat is most often seen and where cars shake the hardest. The grave of John Leigh Brown, dated 1818, is a hotspot. Visitors report feeling watched or hearing faint whispers near it. If you stand here at night, you might feel an icy grip or see those eerie handprints appear. Feeling brave enough to visit Black Oak Cemetery? It's open to the public, maintained by the Black Oak Methodist Episcopal Church, but it's remote, so plan carefully. From Grove Oak, follow County Road 50 and 76 as mentioned, and park near the church. Visit at dusk for the creepiest vibes, but bring a flashlight and a friend. Solo trips feel too eerie. Respect the graves. Don't touch the handcrafted markers, as they're fragile. Watch for the black goat, and if your car shakes, check for handprints before you drive off. The cemetery's on church property, so be quiet and courteous. Paranormal investigators should bring an EMF meter, but avoid provoking whatever lurks here. It doesn't feel friendly. Number 16. Wetumpka Chamber of Commerce. The Wetumpka Chamber of Commerce building sits in the heart of downtown Wetumpka, just steps from the site of the old Wetumpka mortuary, a place where countless bodies were prepared during the 19th and early 20th centuries. Built in an area steeped in Civil War history, Wetumpka saw its share of tragedy, with battles and disease leaving a heavy toll. The mortuary's grim work handling the dead from war, epidemics and accidents left an imprint on this spot, and some say the spirits of those who passed through never left. Now a bustling office, the chamber hides a dark past beneath its everyday facade. You'll find the Wetumpka Chamber of Commerce at 110 East Bridge Street, right in downtown Wetumpka, Elmore County, about 20 miles northeast of Montgomery. From Montgomery, take us 231 north to Wetumpka, then turn onto East Bridge Street. The building is near the Coosa River and the historic Bibb Graves Bridge, close to where the old Wetumpka mortuary once stood. Its unassuming exterior blends into the charming downtown, making its hauntings all the more shocking. The Wetumpka Chamber of Commerce is plagued by eerie phenomena tied to its grim neighbor, the old mortuary. Staff and visitors report hearing ghostly voices whispering in empty rooms, sometimes calling names or murmuring in distress. The most unsettling reports describe the sound of something or someone being dragged up the stairs, slow and heavy, as if reliving a tragic moment. Shadowy figures have been glimpsed in the hallways, and a cold, oppressive feeling lingers, hinting at spirits from the mortuary's days, still trapped in this ordinary office space. The staircase leading to the upper floor is the epicenter of the paranormal activity. This is where the dragging sounds are loudest, echoing through the building after hours. Employees have reported sudden chills on the stairs, and a feeling of being watched from above. Some claim to see a faint shadow at the top, as if someone is waiting. If you visit and hear a slow, scraping sound, you're likely standing in the most haunted spot in the Wetumpka Chamber of Commerce. Visiting the Wetumpka Chamber of Commerce for its haunts isn't easy. It's a working office, not a tourist spot. Located at 110 East Bridge Street, it's open weekdays during business hours, but paranormal investigations require special permission from the chamber staff. Call ahead at 334-567-5147 to inquire about access or guided tours. And always be respectful. This is an active workplace. If you're allowed inside, focus on the staircase, especially after 5 p.m. when the building quiets down. Bring a recorder to catch those ghostly whispers, but don't linger too long. The spirits here feel restless. For a safer peek, explore downtown Wetumpka's historic vibe and imagine the mortuary's shadow looming nearby. Number 15. Albertville Public Library. The Albertville Public Library, built in 1964, stands on the site of a raised 19th century residence in downtown Albertville. This long-gone home belonged to a local family, possibly tied to the town's early days as a farming and trading hub, when the house was demolished to make way for the library. Its foundations were buried, but the spirits of its former residents may have stayed behind. The library's modern facade hides a past filled with forgotten lives, and some say those lives are still making themselves known. You'll find the Albertville Public Library at 200 Jackson Street, right in the heart of downtown Albertville, Marshall County, about 20 miles south of Guntersville. From I-59, take us 431 north to Albertville, then turn onto Main Street. Head west to Jackson Street, where the library sits near City Hall and the historic Sand Mountain Reporter Building. Its unassuming brick exterior blends into the bustling town, hiding its eerie secrets. The Albertville Public Library is haunted by restless spirits tied to the demolished residents beneath it. Staff and patrons report faucets turning on and off with no explanation, sometimes gushing water in empty bathrooms. The library's elevator is notorious for running on its own, doors opening to reveal no one inside. Whispers and footsteps echo in quiet corners, and some feel a strange presence watching them among the stacks. Locals believe these are the spirits of the home's former residents, disturbed by the destruction of their resting place, and lingering in the library's halls. The most haunted spot is the library's elevator and the nearby bathrooms on the main floor. The elevator often moves between floors without being called, its hum breaking the silence of late hours. In the bathrooms, faucets turn on full blast or drip inexplicably, and cold spots make visitors shiver. One eerie tale describes a patron seeing a shadowy figure in the elevator's mirror, vanishing when the doors opened. If you feel a chill or hear water running, you're in the heart of the library's hauntings. Want to explore the Albertville Public Library spooky side? It's open to the public Monday through Saturday, with hours from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Check albertvillebury.org for details. Located at 200 Jackson Street, it's free to visit. But it's a working library, so be discreet. Ask staff about the elevator or bathroom oddities, they might share a story. Paranormal investigators need permission for after-hours access. Call 256-891-8290 to inquire. Bring a voice recorder for EVPs, and linger near the elevator at closing time for the best chance of paranormal activity. Respect the space, don't disturb patrons or books, and watch for those faucets turning on behind you. The Albertville Public Library proves that even a place of knowledge can hide restless spirits. Have you heard those ghostly faucets or ridden that haunted elevator? Drop a comment below. Where are you watching from? Share your city, and if you've got a spooky library story, I want to hear it. Hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more creepy Alabama haunts on Blink News. Next up, another chilling secret awaits. Number 14. George O. Baker House. Built in the 1850s, the George O. Baker House in Selma, Dallas County, was a grand residence for the prominent Baker family. During the Civil War, Selma was a key Confederate stronghold, and in April 1865, the Battle of Selma saw Union forces overrun the city, burning homes and arsenals. The Baker House survived, but not without tragedy. A wounded Union soldier took refuge here, only to die inside, his blood seeping into the floorboards. The house's elegant facade hides this grim chapter, and some say the soldier's spirit never left. The George O. Baker House is located in Selma's historic district, Dallas County, about 50 miles west of Montgomery. From Montgomery, take us -80 west to Selma, then head to the Old Town Historic District near Water Avenue. The exact address isn't widely publicized, but it's near landmarks like Sturtevant Hall and the Alabama River. Ask locals about the Baker House. Its obscurity makes it a hidden gem among Selma's more famous haunts. The George O. Baker House is haunted by the spirit of the Union soldier who died here during the 1865 Battle of Selma. Bloodstains, said to be his, were found under the staircase, impossible to scrub away. Visitors report hearing ghostly footsteps pacing the halls, especially at night, as if the soldier is still wandering, lost in time. Some feel a heavy presence or hear faint moans, and others claim objects move inexplicably. The house carries a restless energy, tied to that tragic day, when war tore through Selma. The staircase and the area beneath it are the epicenter of the hauntings. This is where the Union soldiers' bloodstains were found, and where the ghostly footsteps are loudest, echoing as if someone is climbing endlessly. Visitors report sudden chills, and a feeling of being watched from the shadows below the stairs. If you stand here, hear a creak, or feel a cold draft, you're in the heart of the George O. Baker House's paranormal activity. Visiting the George O. Baker House is a challenge. It's a private residence, not open to the public. Located in Selma's Old Town Historic District, you'll need to explore near Water Avenue and ask locals for its exact spot, as it's not well marked. Always get permission from the property owners before approaching. Trespassing isn't just illegal, it might disturb the spirits. If granted access, focus on the staircase area at dusk for the eeriest vibes. Bring a recorder for EVPs, and watch for those ghostly footsteps. If you can't get inside, soak up Selma's haunted history nearby at places like Sturtevant Hall, but respect the Baker House's privacy. Number 13. Kenan's Mill. Built in the 1860s, Kenan's Mill in Selma, Dallas County, was a gristmill grinding corn and wheat for the community. During the Civil War, it doubled as a field hospital. During the 1865 Battle of Selma, when Union forces stormed the city, leaving countless wounded Confederate soldiers in its care. Blood-soaked floors and the cries of the dying filled the mill, and many never left alive. Now preserved as a historic site by the Old Cahaba Archaeological Park, Its peaceful exterior hides a grim past that refuses to stay buried. Kenan's Mill is located just outside Selma, Dallas County, about 50 miles west of Montgomery. From Selma, take Al-22 west for about 2 miles, then follow signs to Valley Creek Park, where the mill sits at 1,710 Kaiser Mill Road near the Coosa River, surrounded by woods and a quiet creek. It's a picturesque spot that feels worlds away from Selma's bustling historic district, making its hauntings all the more unexpected. Kenan's Mill is haunted by the spirits of soldiers who suffered in its days as a Civil War field hospital. Visitors report feeling unseen hands touching their shoulders or legs, as if begging for help. One chilling account describes a Confederate soldier's ghost clutching a visitor's leg, its grip cold and desperate, before vanishing. Disembodied moans and the sound of creaking floorboards echo through the mill, and some see shadowy figures near the old mill wheel, as if the pain of 1865 is still trapped within these walls. The grinding room where the mill's massive wheel once turned is the heart of the hauntings. This was the main hospital area, where wounded soldiers were treated and many died. The ghostly lead-to-clutching incident happened here, and visitors report the strongest sensations of being touched or watched in this dimly lit space. The air feels heavy, and faint cries seem to emanate from the floorboards. Stand near the mill wheel at night, and you might feel a cold hand or hear the soldier's plea. Ready to face the spirits of Kenan's Mill, it's part of Valley Creek Park, open daily from dawn to dusk, with no admission fee, though donations support preservation. Located at 1,710 Kaiser Mill Road, it's easily accessible from Selma via L-22. Guided tours are available through Old Cahaba Archaeological Park. Call 334-872-8058 to book, or inquire about paranormal access. Explore the grinding room for the creepiest vibes, and bring a recorder for EVPs, or a camera for shadowy figures. Respect the historic site. Don't touch machinery or stray off paths. Visit at dusk for maximum chills, but go with a group. The soldier's ghost doesn't seem to like visitors lingering alone. Number 12. Old State Bank. Built in 1833, the Old State Bank in Decatur, Morgan County, was Alabama's first bank branch, serving as a financial hub for early settlers. Designed with grand Greek Revival columns, it survived the Civil War's destruction, when Decatur was ravaged by battles. During the war, it served as a hospital and headquarters, but its darkest tale ties to Washington Keyes, a cashier in the 1800s. His wife, believed to be the Lady in Blue, lived upstairs, and her tragic story, possibly tied to loss or illness, left a spectral mark on the bank's halls. The Old State Bank stands at 925 Bank Street in the heart of Decatur's historic district, Morgan County, about 25 miles southwest of Huntsville. From I-65, take exit 334 to L-67 west, then head north on US 31 to Bank Street. The bank's striking white columns make it hard to miss, nestled near the Tennessee River in Decatur's Old Town. Its beauty hides its ghostly reputation, overshadowed by other local haunts. The Old State Bank is haunted by the Lady in Blue, believed to be the wife of cashier Washington Keyes. Her ghostly figure is seen peering from the upstairs parlor windows, her face pale and sorrowful. Visitors report cold breezes sweeping through warm rooms, unexplained footsteps, and a heavy feeling of being watched. Some hear faint whispers or see curtains move with no wind. The lady's presence is tied to her tragic life, perhaps mourning a lost child or her own untimely death, making this bank a hotspot for restless spirits. The upstairs parlor's the heart of the hauntings, where the Lady in Blue is most active. This room, once her private space, is where her ghostly figure appears in windows, especially at dusk. Visitors feel sudden chills and an oppressive gaze here, and some report their cameras malfunctioning. The parlor's heavy atmosphere and creaking floorboards make it the most haunted spot in the Old State Bank. If you see a blue shadow, you're not alone. Want to meet the Lady in Blue? The Old State Bank is a historic site open for tours, located at 925 Bank Street in Decatur. Contact the Decatur Morgan County Tourism Office at 256-350-2028 to book a guided tour, as public access is limited. Tours are typically daytime, but ask about evening events for a spookier experience. Focus on the upstairs parlor, and bring a recorder for EVPs or a camera for ghostly orbs. Respect the historic property, don't touch artifacts or wander unguided. Visit at twilight for the best chance to spot the lady, but be prepared for her chilling stare. Number 11. Lovelady Bridge. Lovelady Bridge, built in the early 20th century, spans train tracks near Anniston in Calhoun County. Named after a local family, it was a quiet crossing until a tragic accident decades ago. A young, pregnant woman, or some say a mother, with her newborn died in a horrific crash on the bridge, her life cut short in a moment of terror. The details are murky, lost to time, but the sorrow of that day lingers, etched into the bridge's very beams. Lovelady Bridge is located near Anniston, Calhoun County, about 60 miles east of Birmingham. From Anniston, take us 431 north toward Oxford, Then turn onto Chocolate Road. The bridge is near Camp Hill, overlooking railroad tracks, though exact coordinates are hard to pin down due to its obscurity. Surrounded by woods and quiet fields, it's easy to miss, but its eerie vibe is unmistakable. Lovelady Bridge is haunted by the spirit of the young woman who died in that tragic accident. Nighttime visitors report hearing her heart-wrenching cries, echoing from the tracks below. Some claim chanting, "Lovelady, Lovelady, I got your baby" 3 times in the middle of the bridge summons her ghost, walking toward you, searching for her child. Others have reported cars stalling or refusing to start after visiting, with one account from 2018 describing a car that wouldn't crank after the chant. The bridge carries a heavy, mournful energy, as if her grief still binds her to this place. The most haunted spot is the middle of Lovelady Bridge, directly above the train tracks. This is where the woman's cries are loudest, and where her ghostly figure is said to appear if summoned. Visitors feel an oppressive sadness here, and some report their cars shaking or hearing faint whispers. The air grows cold, even on warm nights, and the tracks below seem to hum with an unnatural energy. Stand here at midnight and you might hear her wails or see her shadow approaching. Ready to brave Lovelady Bridge? It's near Anniston off Chocolate Road, but be warned, it's been closed to car and foot traffic in recent years due to safety concerns, so check local updates before going. From us -431, head toward Camp Hill and look for the bridge near the railroad tracks. If accessible, visit at night for the creepiest experience, but never trespass. Contact the Calhoun County Sheriff's Office at 256-236-5561 for permission or guidance. Bring a flashlight and a recorder for EVPs, and try the chant if you dare, but don't be surprised if your car won't start. Respect the site's tragic history and don't linger alone. Her spirit feels restless. Lovelady Bridge holds the sorrow of a mother's loss, her cries echoing through the night. Have you heard her wails or seen her ghostly figure? Drop a comment below. Where are you watching from? Share your city. And if you've got a spooky Lovelady story, I'm all ears. Hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more creepy Alabama haunts on Blink News. Next up, another chilling secret awaits.
Lily Lane, a quiet residential street in Birmingham's Bessemer area, dates back to the mid-20th century when it was built as a working-class neighborhood near the city's steel mills. Though no specific tragedy is tied to the street, locals whisper of an old man, possibly a former resident, who lived and died here decades ago. His story is lost to time, but his restless spirit lingers, tied to the homes and sidewalks of this unassuming lane. You'll find Lily Lane in Bessemer, Jefferson County, about 15 miles southwest of downtown Birmingham. From Birmingham, take I-20 west to exit 112, then head south on 18th Street to 4th Avenue North. Turn onto Lily Lane, a short residential street lined with modest homes. It's quiet. Suburban vibe hides its ghostly reputation, known only to locals and a few paranormal enthusiasts. Lily Lane is haunted by a ghostly old man, always seen wearing jeans and a white t-shirt, wandering the street at night. He's been spotted gazing from yards or appearing inside homes, standing silently before vanishing. Residents report no harm, just an eerie presence. One chilling tale describes a vacuum cleaner turning on without a plug, and Tupperware scattered across a dining room after the ghost's visit. Locals believe he's a protective spirit, watching over the neighborhood he once called home. The most haunted area is the stretch of Lily Lane between 4th and 5th Avenues, where the old man is most often seen. Residents report his figure standing near front yards or peering through windows, especially after midnight. The sensation of being watched is strongest here, and some hear faint footsteps on the pavement. If you feel a sudden chill or see a man in a white t-shirt vanish, you're in the heart of Lily Lane's hauntings, visiting Lily Lane. It's a public residential street in Bessemer off 4th Avenue North, but it's private property, so respect the residents. Drive or walk through at night for the spookiest vibes, but don't trespass or disturb.
Number 9. Penny Building. The Penny Building, a 31,000 square foot commercial structure, rose in downtown Dothan during the early 20th century, a hub for businesses in this bustling cotton and peanut town. Its grand halls once housed shops and offices, but whispers of tragedy linger, possibly tied to a woman who met a grim fate within its walls, her story lost to time. Dothan's growth overshadowed these tales, but the building's dark past refuses to stay silent. You'll find the Penny Building at 136 South Foster Street, in the heart of Dothan, Houston County, about 20 miles north of the Florida border. From News 231, head south into downtown Dothan, turn onto East Main Street, then left onto Foster Street. The building's large, unassuming facade sits among Dothan's historic shops, its eerie reputation known only to a few locals. The Penny Building is haunted by a ghostly woman described as tall and draped in dark clothing, who appears to children at night. Witnesses report her gliding through the halls, her face pale and eyes hollow, vanishing when approached. Some hear soft whispers or feel a cold touch in empty rooms. Locals believe she's tied to a long-forgotten tragedy, Perhaps a mother mourning a lost child, her spirit drawn to the innocence of youth. The building's quiet offices hide a chilling presence that unnerves even the bravest. The most haunted spot is the upper floors, where the ghostly woman is often seen. These dimly lit hallways, once bustling with activity, now echo with her footsteps and faint murmurs. Children visiting after hours report seeing her shadow near the windows, and some feel an icy grip on their shoulders. If you sense a sudden chill or see a dark figure, you're in the heart of the Penny Building's hauntings. Visiting the Penny Building? It's an active commercial property at 136 South Foster Street, so access is limited. Head to downtown Dothan and explore the area during business hours, Monday through Friday. Contact property management at 334-7925138 to inquire about access or guided tours, as it's not a public haunt. If allowed inside, focus on the upper floors at dusk for the creepiest vibes. Bring a recorder for ghostly whispers, but respect the tenants and don't disturb offices. Park on Foster Street and soak up Dothan's historic charm, but watch for that woman in dark clothing. She might be watching you. Number 8. J.W. Woolley Home Site. The J.W. Woolley home, built in the 1800s, once stood proudly near Anniston, Calhoun County. Constructed atop old slave quarters and a small cemetery, it was home to the Woolley family, local landowners in a region scarred by slavery and Civil War strife. The house witnessed untold hardships, from the suffering of enslaved people to the turmoil of war. Demolished decades ago, the land remains, but its dark history lingers, refusing to be erased. You'll find the J.W. Woolley home site near Anniston, Calhoun County, about 60 miles east of Birmingham. From Anniston, take us 431 north toward Oxford, then explore rural roads like Chocolate Road or Bynum Leatherwood Road. The exact spot is unmarked, as the house is gone, but locals point to fields near old plantations east of Anniston. Its obscurity and the empty land make it a ghostly enigma. This site is haunted by apparitions and strange noises tied to its grim past. Visitors report shadowy figures moving across the empty fields, some resembling enslaved people or soldiers. Eerie whispers and cries echo at night, and some hear footsteps crunching on invisible floors. Even after the house's demolition, the spirits of those buried beneath, or who suffered in the slave quarters, seem trapped, their pain etched into the earth. The most haunted area is the open field where the slave quarters and cemetery once lay. This spot, now just grass and dirt, is where apparitions are most often seen, especially at dusk. Visitors feel sudden chills or hear disembodied voices pleading or weeping. If you stand, hear and sense an unseen presence or hear a rustle with no wind, you're in the heart of the Woolley home site's hauntings. Visiting the J.W. Woolley home site is tricky. It's private land with no standing structure. Head to rural Anniston via US 431 and ask locals near Chocolate Road for leads, but always get permission from property owners before exploring. Trespassing could stir trouble, both legal and supernatural. Visit at twilight with a flashlight and a recorder for EVPs, but stay respectful. Don't disturb the land or any hidden graves. The site's isolation adds to its eerie vibe, so go with a friend and watch for those shadowy figures.
Number 7. Old Coosa County Jail. Built in 1842, the Old Coosa County Jail in Rockford served as the county's lockup for over a century. This sturdy stone building held thieves, outlaws, and Civil War deserters. Its cells witnessed to untold suffering and despair. Located in the heart of Rockford, a tiny town, it was a grim reminder of justice in a rural frontier. Though no longer in use, the jail's brutal past, marked by harsh conditions and forgotten prisoners, lingers in its very walls. You'll find the Old Coosa County Jail at 1 Main Street, right in downtown Rockford, Coosa County, about 50 miles southeast of Birmingham. From Birmingham, take us 280 east to Al 22 East, then follow signs to Rockford's town center. The jail's rugged stone facade stands near the Coosa County Courthouse, a haunting relic in a quiet, small town that time seems to have forgotten. The Old Coosa County Jail is haunted by the spirits of former prisoners who never left its cells. Visitors report cold spots that freeze you to the bone, even on warm days, and ghostly moans echoing through the empty corridors. Some hear chains rattling or faint cries for mercy, believed to be from inmates who suffered or died here. The oppressive energy suggests these spirits are still trapped, reliving their torment in this stone fortress. The most haunted area is the cell block on the second floor, where the worst offenders were held. This dark, narrow space is where cold spots are strongest and ghostly moans are loudest, sometimes accompanied by the sound of scraping metal. Visitors feel watched or hear whispers in empty cells. If you stand here and feel an icy touch or hear a voice, you're in the heart of the jail's hauntings. Visiting the Old Coosa County Jail. It's at 1 Main Street in Rockford, but it's not a public tourist site, so access is limited. Contact the Coosa County Historical Society at 256-377-2497 to inquire about tours or special access. If allowed inside, Explore the second-floor cell block at dusk for the eeriest vibes. Bring a flashlight and a recorder for EVPs. But respect the historic property, don't touch walls or artifacts. The jail's on private land, so trespassing is a no-go. Visit with a group, as the spirits here feel restless and unwelcoming. The old Coosa County jail holds the echoes of a grim past. Have you felt those cold spots or heard ghostly moans in Rockford? Drop a comment below. Where are you watching from? Share your city. And if you've got a spooky jail story, I'm all ears. Hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more creepy Alabama haunts on Blink News. Next up, another chilling secret awaits. Number 6. Trotter House. The Trotter House, built in the late 1800s, stands as a Victorian gem in Selma's historic district. Home to the Trotter family, wealthy merchants in a city torn by the Civil War and Reconstruction, its ornate halls saw prosperity and tragedy. While no specific tragedy is recorded, the house's age and Selma's turbulent past, marked by battles and social upheaval, suggest untold stories of loss that linger in its walls, fueling its ghostly reputation. You'll find the Trotter House in Selma's Old Town Historic District, Dallas County, about 50 miles west of Montgomery. From Montgomery, take us 80 west to Selma, then head to Water Avenue and explore the streets near Sturtevant Hall. The exact address is private, as it's a residence, but locals know it as a Grand Victorian near Dallas Avenue. Its obscurity makes it a spooky secret in Selma's haunted landscape. The Trotter House is plagued by unexplained hauntings. Lights flicker without cause, doors swing open on their own, and shadowy figures glide through empty rooms. Visitors capture floating orbs in photos, glowing in the dark like restless spirits. Some feel an eerie presence, as if unseen eyes follow their every move. With no clear origin, locals whisper that these are the ghosts of past residents or souls tied to Selma's violent history, trapped in the house's elegant halls. The most haunted area is the upstairs hallway, where flickering lights and ghostly orbs are most common. This long, narrow corridor lined with old portraits is where doors open inexplicably and shadowy figures are seen darting past. Visitors report a heavy, unsettling feeling here, and photos often show glowing orbs near the staircase. If you hear a creak or see a shadow, you are in the heart of the Trotter House's hauntings. Visiting the Trotter House. It's a private residence in Selma's Old Town Historic District, so access is restricted. From US 80, head to Water Avenue and ask locals near Sturtevant Hall for its location, but always get permission from the owners before approaching. Trespassing could stir trouble, both legal and supernatural. If granted access, explore the upstairs hallway at dusk with a camera for orbs or a recorder for EVPs. Respect the property, don't touch antiques, or linger uninvited. Soak up Selma's haunted vibe nearby, but watch for those flickering lights. Number 5. Burgundy Drive. Tucked away in the quiet suburbs of Adamsville, Alabama, lies a road with a peaceful name but a terrifying past. Burgundy Drive. Located near the intersection of Shady Grove Road and Indian Meadows Drive, the full address falls within Burgundy Drive, Adamsville, L 35005, Jefferson County. But locals will tell you, this is no ordinary street. According to long-standing whispers, Burgundy Drive was unknowingly built over a Cherokee burial ground, a sacred resting place of ancestors, disturbed by modern construction. Since then, something has never been quite right. Residents report ghostly figures darting across the road late at night, only to disappear into thin air. Some drivers swear they've hit someone only to step out and find nothing. Disembodied voices echo from nearby woods, often in a language no one recognizes. The street is often gripped by an unshakable feeling of dread, as if you're never truly alone. Streetlights flicker for no reason. Shadows move where no people stand. One particular stretch near the bend, close to Indian Meadows Drive, is said to be the most haunted. Locals avoid it after dark, especially around midnight when the air grows cold and whispers grow louder. Despite these disturbing tales, Burgundy Drive has remained under the radar, receiving no major media coverage, perhaps because it sits in a quiet neighborhood, or maybe because some hauntings prefer to stay hidden. So, if you ever find yourself near Burgundy Drive, Adamsville, L 35005, think twice before taking a midnight stroll, because some roads don't just lead you somewhere, they follow you back. If chilling mysteries like this excite you, make sure to like the video, subscribe to Blink News, and tell us in the comments, would you dare walk down Burgundy Drive alone at night? Number 4. Nettles Gravestones. Deep in the rural backwoods of Clark County, Alabama, hidden among the thick pines and forgotten roads of Carlton, lies one of the state's most unsettling mysteries, the Nettles Gravestone. Located in the Mount Nebo Baptist Church Cemetery, Carlton, L 36515. These gravestones aren't ordinary markers of the dead. They were sculpted in the 1930s and 40s by Isaac Ike Nettles, a local artisan with a gift and perhaps a curse. What makes these graves unlike any others are the striking death masks, hauntingly lifelike faces molded directly onto the stones, believed to be the actual faces of Nettles' own family members. But these stone faces don't just stare silently. Visitors report a deep, unsettling atmosphere. Some have heard soft whispers near the graves, though no one is around. Others feel an intense sensation of being watched, as if the masks are just art they're observing. Cameras malfunction, batteries drain, shadows move in the corner of your eye, and the air turns cold, especially near the grave of Nettles' wife. Despite its eerie presence, this site remains shockingly under the radar. Few tourists ever make it this far, and even fewer return twice. Tucked away in a remote cemetery, the Nettles gravestones are mentioned only in niche ghost lore and southern legends. But one question remains: what kind of energy was sealed within those stone faces? Are they merely memorials, or something more eternal? If you ever venture to Mount Nebo Cemetery, Carlton, L 36515, tread carefully. You may not be alone. Number 3. Okachoy Covered Bridge. Hidden deep in the woods near Rockford, Alabama, once stood a bridge so eerie locals refused to cross it after dark. This was the Okachoy Covered Bridge, built in 1916, stretching over the slow, shadowy waters of Okachoy Creek, just off Bridge Road, Rockford, L 35136. But this wasn't just any bridge, it was the scene of a horrifying tragedy. According to chilling local accounts, a young African-American man was lynched here by a mob long ago, his spirit said to linger long after justice was denied. Before the bridge was destroyed by vandals in 2001, drivers would experience strange, terrifying phenomena. Engines stalling in the middle of the bridge, car doors suddenly rattling violently, and a thick, oppressive silence that would fall without warning. Some say they heard faint crying. Others reported being overcome by sudden waves of sorrow, as if the bridge itself was grieving. Though the physical structure is gone, the site remains haunted. Visitors still report an overwhelming sense of dread near the creek bed, especially at night. Cold spots appear on warm evenings, and the sound of rope creaking has been heard echoing through the trees, though no rope hangs there anymore. Today, most people don't even know the Okachoy Covered Bridge ever existed. Its destruction erased it from maps and memory, but not from the land. The ground still holds the sorrow and the spirit that was never laid to rest. If you ever walk near Okachoy Creek off Bridge Road in Rockford, L 35136, listen closely. You might hear the past calling back. Number 2. Old Castleberry Bank Building. In the heart of downtown Castleberry, Alabama, stands a building that time forgot the old Castleberry Bank Building. Crumbling brick walls and faded windows hint at its long abandoned past. But locals will tell you this place was never truly empty. Located at the corner of Commerce Street and Cleveland Avenue, Castleberry, L 36432, the bank was once a symbol of early 20th century prosperity. But after it closed its doors decades ago, the silence that followed wasn't the peaceful kind. Residents and passersby began reporting unexplainable noises coming from inside, metallic clanks, the echo of footsteps on old tile, and even the whisper of voices when no one was around. At night, shadowy figures have been spotted moving behind the cracked glass windows, only to vanish when approached. Some believe the spirit belongs to a banker who died under mysterious circumstances, while others whisper of a robbery gone wrong, never recorded in history. The atmosphere inside is thick and heavy, as if the building remembers everything, every deal made, every secret kept, every soul that never left. Despite these chilling tales, the old Castleberry Bank remains virtually unknown, mentioned only in local blogs and passed down through small-town whispers. No documentaries. No headlines, just a building and a presence that refuses to be forgotten. If you ever visit Commerce Street in Castleberry, L 36432, stop and listen. The past may be calling from behind the locked doors of the old bank. Number 1. Hudson House. Tucked deep within the rural stretches of Barber County, near the historic town of Eufaula, Alabama, stands a decaying structure few dare to visit the Hudson House. Located along a quiet dirt road near County Road 89, just outside Eufaula, this abandoned farmhouse was built in 1905 by Charles and William Hudson. They constructed it as a gift for their brother, John Hudson, a man said to have been troubled, reclusive, and possibly haunted even in life. Over a century has passed, but what lingers inside that house feels far from dead. Visitors have reported disturbing sounds echoing from within the empty structure. Most chilling of all is the unmistakable sound of a baby crying, though no children have lived there in decades. Others have heard deep, growling noises, footsteps on rotted floors, and doors slamming shut, despite the windless silence of the countryside. Some describe feeling watched, or worse, unwelcome. The Hudson House is now forgotten by most, with no signs, no plaques, and no official records of its dark past, just a few entries in obscure paranormal forums and old southern ghost stories. Its isolation keeps it hidden, and perhaps that's for the best. Because once you enter the Hudson House, something or someone knows you're there. If you ever find yourself near County Road 89 in Eufaula, L 36027, and see a crumbling white farmhouse hidden behind trees, do not step inside. The cries you hear may not want to be silenced. Into true haunted mysteries. Hit like, subscribe to Blink News, and let us know in the comments about your story.